Welcome to the wonderful world of dance, bringing you exclusive interviews with top dancers and choreographers and reviews of the world's best companies across the globe. You can find lots more on our website at thewonderfulworldofdance.com.
Hi, this is Savannah Saunders from The Wonderful World of Dance, and today I am super thrilled to introduce Principal Ballerina Mi Deng, one of the most famous and successful Chinese ballet dancers who has danced with some of the top companies around the world and also has one of China's best international ballet schools. Mi is going to be performing the role of the princess, also being danced by Diana Vishneva, in a new tech-inspired interpretation of the classical fairy tale Sleeping Beauty. This production has got loads of technology and is called Sleeping Beauty Dreams, and the show is actually about what Sleeping Beauty dreams of while she's in her 100-year slumber. So with an international tour on the way, let's have a chat with Mi about this new production. Thank you so much for joining us, Mi.
Hi, this is Mi. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much. And you're in Beijing at the moment?
Yes, I am.
So thank you. I'm in London, so it's a bit of an international conversation because the actual tour is kicking off in the States. You're going to be traveling around the United States.
In next month.
Next month, fantastic. So tell me about what inspired you, because you've obviously had a really long career, 20 years dancing all the great roles. What inspired you to take on this version of Sleeping Beauty?
First of all, it's the title of the name, because the Sleeping Beauty, when I was young, it's almost, it's the first variation that I start my career. And I almost danced for my whole dancing career with this Sleeping Beauty, but now it's the Sleeping Beauty Dreams, and then which I never thought about it, and then I think maybe some of the people never thought about it as well. And the most important thing is we discovered the dreams about the aurora, and this is most attract part for me to be part of this international team. I'd like to always challenge myself either ways. For me, it's a good chance, and then also work again with Diana Vishneva. Such an honor for me. It's the pressure time as well. So I don't know. It just feels good to be part of it.
And can you give us some insight into what does Sleeping Beauty dream about for her 100 years?
There's we've had lots of underneath conversation, and then the dreams under there. First of all, I think there's a fears, and then there's a fight, and there's a love, and there's the faithful, and there's the I think the most important is the dreams for herself is like a human being. It's not like fairy tales. It's not like a sparkling somewhere with the crowns with the princess. It's about her. It's about her personality, about her dreams, and then the dreams. In the dreams, anything can happen. So she also has the fears, and then she has her own things need to fight for it. It's like a human life. You have ups and downs, and then you just need to digest, and then adopt it, and then going through, and then eventually you'll get there. So I think that's what I got the information from this story.
So this is not going to be just a classic retelling of the pink princess in her dreams with the crown.
No, not at all.
No, this sounds like a Sleeping Beauty, the princess and the person, the woman. Is that right?
Yeah. For me, it's I think most of the people, they know the Tchaikovsky, the music, and then the stories about the Sleeping Beauty. But this Sleeping Beauty dreams, it's completely something else. Don't expect it for the fairy tales with the kids from the prince and the wake her up with the loving part to do from the last end of the duet. This is not about that. It's about her. It's about her atmosphere to be fight for life, and then how to save herself, and then also to against all the kind of like bad things or good things, and then she adopted, and then eventually she goes through her own path to get the way she has to be.
It sounds like a bit of a personal adventure and challenge for the princess, which sounds very exciting.
I think for me it is.
Yeah?
Yeah, for me it's like completely a new story about the princess, and then also it's quite like something underneath the ground, and then we never discovered it, but now like we polished it and then kind of like exploded from the ground, and then will be shining somewhere in somehow with this storyline. Yeah, it's very exciting and then interesting for me.
It's also,
I think for the audience will be also.
Absolutely, and I think the part of it that's also really very new is that there is a huge technology use in this dance, and it's not the Tchaikovsky. It's got some electronic music in there, which is all very different. This is a completely different look at Sleeping Beauty.
It is.
And tell us about the technology. How did you have to dance with the technology? Tell us about what they did in terms of the show.
First of all, like we have a lot of like princess in general, we have a lot of sensors in our bodies, and then all those sensors are affected with the big string on the back, which is like the decor for the stage, and then there's the kind of like how do you say, like live movement, live movement when we move, and then they also will show up on the screen. So it's kind of the newest technology happened on the stage for the first time. And also for us, we have to be very aware about how we move with the movement, because usually as a dancer, we just move our body in a way, and then we never happened in a case that we have to be aware of what happening in our back, because normally we see the audience, we present us to the audience, and then we always see in front of like our eyes, but now it's like something happened behind of like our back, and then we have to be aware of it, and then what's happening, and then how we move its effect to the screen. So it's also interesting, it's like action reaction. So for the audience, it's also kind of like a lot of things happening on the same time, because once you see a dancer moves, and then the back there's a screen also happens with the images, like lots of like different and amazing, incredible images. So you have tons of information happen on the same time. So just be ready.
Wow, that sounds so unusual, and it sounds like it's going to be very visual in terms of what the audience is going to get, and the interaction between yourself and being connected to this technology, and having your movement changing the set and the staging and the visuals, I guess.
Yeah, for me it's kind of like a visual art. It's kind of like a track. Also you can see this show is like a whole track, a path of the visual arts from the Aurora as well. So that seems like simple version of the storyline, if you can see on the technology wise.
And it must have been quite difficult, as you say, being connected, by the string, and how does that affect your movement in terms of, I guess you don't want to get yourself tied up, or,
Yeah, because like the first thing you have to be worried about it's like the sensor has to be always stayed on us. We cannot lose them, because once we're moving or we do a duet, we like rolling on the floor, because there's a lot of like the big movement. We're like take over all the stage, and then just like a lot of time it's just like Aurora like by herself on the stage, because she has a lot of like the solo moment. And then while we doing everything, and then we have to be aware the sensor that we cannot lose them, and then in case if it's out of battery or if we lose them, and then the screen, and then it's not going to happen with the movement, so that will be a big mess. So this is not gonna be happen, and then that's what we have to practice for. Like each movement affected with the screen, that we have to be really taking care of it. It's like very important.
It sounds quite technically challenging, and you're not dancing just by yourself. You're going to be dancing with your prince, and I'm sure there are other cast members who are on the stage as well. How does that work in terms of your dancing with the prince?
First of all, it's very excited because both of the prince, it's the first time that I work with, and then I never danced with them before, so which is very excited for me to get our duet together and then work with them. It's also I have also learned a lot from them with experiences wise. Also for the dancing wise, we have different kind of like feeling with our pas de deux, and then we have different stages because we kind of like met in a sense, and then in another sense we fight, and in another sense we love each other, and then eventually something kind of like chemistry. Do you call it chemistry?
Yeah, chemistry.
That happens in between of us. So it's quite of like a mixture of a lot of feelings in between a man. For me, I call them a man or woman. So it's like a normal person anything will happen in your relationship in the life. It also happens on the stage with the prince and the princess.
It sounds like it's going to be a really exciting production, and this new use of technology in this way hasn't really been done before with dance. So I think audiences are going to be completely wowed by what they see. What are you hoping audiences will sort of take away from seeing Sleeping Beauty Dreams?
First of all, I think the audience will be really enjoy from the vision, like visualize. They will really enjoy with all those impressive images, and then all the movement and choreographies, and then also the music. Wise, the music is also amazing, and with the electronic kind of like feelings with all the beats and all the kind of like the phrase. It's completely something, another world. And then it's like technology world, and also it's an arts as well, and also like we have the connection with different kind of dancers, and then other technologies, and then with the decor, with the music, with everything combined together. It's very hard to describe with the words, but for me, everything is completely new, and then completely different parts from different kind of word. And then once they put together, it's mixed. Something happens, just like bam, and then you just like wow. It's just like very simple.
I love that. Bam and wow. Thank you. The high-tech like, Sleeping Beauty Dreams. Audience are going to
my
love
English. It's just
perfect.
Like
I love it.
It's poor English. Just
no, it's perfect,
just like
because
the best words I can find.
Yeah, because it gives the sense that it's going to be really quite visually impactful and very. I can imagine it bright and colourful, and some beats from the music, as you said. But you're a classically trained dancer. Principal dancer. How has it been, dancing to, the electronic music and the contemporary ballet element? How's that been for you as an experience as an artist? This is completely challenging. Because for my experiences, I have danced classical, new classical, contemporary, like all the time, and then the music. I think 99% it went from the music where classical one, or where the orchestra version. So at least we don't have like the equal counts, but at least I can hear kind of like a phrase, and then
to a bar, at least we found a bar. Like for the electronic one, it's just like we have to, like for me, I have to use the like my musical ear to really, really get used to it and familiar with it, and then which exactly bits or which bar or which phrase that I have to go for my choreographies, which is very challenging for me. The music is very excited, but somehow I cannot enjoy so much because I have to be aware, like which movement it has to be really connected with the music.
So really thinking, so really concentrating.
It's really challenging. Yeah, it's really challenging. And while you're dancing, like somehow you enjoy yourself at the moment, but you lost. We cannot see the count. You lost the phrase, and then you have to be like, oh my god, where am I? I have to really just catch it back, like in just maybe like 0.5 seconds.
Wow.
And so we have to really get familiar with the music, just like million times to hear about it.
And it's very contemporary dance, but are you on point? Are you on flats in this?
I'm in the flats. It's completely contemporary.
Dance.
But still, we use like the ballet trained basic technique, but the movement just different. But in general, it's all coming from the movement that we used to in ballet, but we switch to another very grounded and then smooth way, or like different ways to represent it.
That sounds like it's such an extraordinary performance and a production that's coming. Very complex, very exciting though.
Thank you.
I'm interested also, you've got 20 years, as you mentioned, classical training behind you. You are one of the most famous ballet dancers from China, and I know that you will be very much a role model for many young ballet dancers in China and across the world. Tell me what it was like for you growing up and training as a young dancer yourself. What was that like?
When I was young, I think it's the fit that I choose to learn ballet, because once I went to the board school that I didn't have any idea what ballet it is, but I know I just wanted to be there. Like it's just like the sense of feeling that I just told myself I need to be there. And then once I went to the school, everything happening is just like very naturally. Because we're selected ones, and then we're on the best school in the China, and then I'm always like in the one of the best on the class, and then I kind of like always on the good position of what was the situation I was, and then eventually I choose to like leave the country, that I started to always challenge myself, because I realized that I'm not the one of the best in my situation, but like my own kind of like small world anymore. So I realized, that is completely different, that I have to really force myself to learn a lot, or like practice, or use a lot of time to think about it, what I have to do and where I have to go. So it's also happening just like I came out from China. So that's completely like, once I was in China, it's one situation. Like once I went out, it's other world that I really appreciate, that I have a lot of different experiences with different like ballet companies all over the world, and then I have learned a lot of experiences. I have to sing a lot of good dancers, and then I work with them, and then we cooperate together, and then we just get our like better results, or just no pain, no gain, I guess.
Yeah, and you've danced with some of the best companies around the world. What has been some of your most memorable moments or performances that you've had in your career to date, do you think?
For me, I personally really like the dramatic ballet. So for me, I would say it's the Juliet from the Romeo and Juliet, because I did like two versions. One I did with the like in States, and then another version I did with the Monte Carlo. That's both version of Juliet. For me, it's like the dream role, and I always found myself telling the story on stage, and then be part of somebody else's life, and then I can be really not as a ballerina or ballet dancer on stage, but I'm also an actress. I also like acting on the stage, which made me really excited, and then appreciate that I would have the chance to have done all those roles, especially in Juliet's in the stage.
It's a beautiful, beautiful ballet, of course, and
It is, yes.
I imagine that the Monte Carlo ballet had a slightly different version. They often do on their classics, but you're back in Beijing, back in your home country after your international career, and it's still going on. But you went back home and you started up your own ballet school, the Mi Ballet School, which is, aims to be one of the best ballet schools in China. Tell me about why did you decide to start your own school?
Because for me, since I was young, I always very interested about the teaching. I like to express my experiences to young dancers or young students to let them build up their own experiences while I teaching them. And then for me also, the school I've built up in China also has the purpose to spread all the international ballet world, to represent it to the Chinese audience or Chinese student or parents. I think also Chinese people deserve to know more about the international ballet world or dancers or like a repertoire as well, because ballet is international language. I would say it's an international language, and lots of people, they know the how the ballet should be, or how the ballet dancers should behave on stage, or like how they have to train. But in China now, I would say we're not getting that stage, or we're not getting that far yet. So as experienced as I am, so I would say I want to do something for my own country once I had more than like 15 years of the international dance experiences. So I like to represent the best ballet dancers or best repertoire or best ballet company to the Chinese students, to let them know where they're aiming for, or where they can go, like how far they can go, even though they're maybe not decided can go professionals, but they know what is the best, at least for them in the path of their growth. They had the best experiences for the ballet, career or ballet period. For them, it's good thing, I think.
Yeah, and what do you think is the most challenging aspect for young dancers these days? Because, the dance world continues to change, and they've got, social media now as well, and competitions are so prevalent. What do you think is the most challenging aspect for a young dancer?
I think it's the concentration. Because back then, the older generation, we don't have that much social media to spend time for. So we pretty much concentrated at what we're doing at the moment. But for now, the new generation, there's a lot of things happening on social media. Like we discover the world in social media, and then that's we, like everybody with their phone, spending a lot of time every day. And that's the thing. Maybe will be affected the results from the professional studies. So then the concentration, I think new generation needs to be, they need to know, like in general, basic, what is the most important thing for them at the moment. So once they decided if they really love to ballet and then they really wants to be a ballet dancer, and then they just need to give up the social media for a moment and then just concentrate it with whatever the level or the stage they're doing at the moment with the ballet study. And I think they will be fine. It's just like anything happen is because of some reason. And then if you decided to go the direction and then just concentrate and then go for it. Don't just like looking around with the 360, and then I think they will be fine.
Yeah. I would just say, you know, there are pros and cons, and it is a very difficult profession. You do have to concentrate, but then of course we have all of the people who want to get to know dancers now and to see them in the studio and see them rehearse, and yes, there's a lot to distract all of us, I think. Very easy in the world. Finally, what advice then would you give to young aspiring dancers? Is there some words, or are there sort of things that you say to your students that is something that's really important, you feel from your heart?
For me, like the most important thing is being positive, and always like find something to challenge yourself. Just don't stay on the safe circle, like around yourself, just draw a thing and then you stay there. You're never gonna like improve. So just run out from the safe circle and then challenge yourself, find like something that you feel interested, and then just go for it. Don't think too much, or don't always being like doubt yourself. Oh, am I gonna do this, or am I gonna successful? Am I gonna exist it? Just don't think. Just do what you want to do, and then you will find the challenge on the process. And then eventually, once you get there, you're like, oh, you're looking back. You're saying, oh, so I'm good. I'm able to do this. I'm really proud of myself. And then I think that's what I suggest the young dancer or students to be aware of.
That is such great advice, Mi. That's so wonderful. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, and from Beijing as well, speaking to us.
Thank you so much as well.
And I know that so many people will be looking forward to seeing you perform The Princess in Sleeping Beauty Dreams. And
me too. Can't wait.
Yeah, it sounds like such a great thing to do. It sounds amazing.
I'm very excited.
And so for listeners around the world, especially in the States, to get your details on the locations and for tickets, visit the website, which is sbdart.com, which is sbdart.com for all the details. And of course, must check out Mi Deng's Instagram, which is at DENGMIMI, Deng Mimi. Well, Mimi, actually. Deng Mimi.
Yes.
Which is such a wonderful Instagram. And thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you for spending the time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time as well.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe. We've got some incredible interviews coming up with principal ballerinas and renowned choreographers. We love dance and ballet, and we hope you'll love us. Join us on Facebook and Twitter.